Hello and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your source for the finest 2A propaganda brought to you by TNVC.com. Today I want to tell you about one more way the all-seeing eye is watching you every moment of your existence. Evolve has been around for almost a decade. I passed through their machines in the before times when I took my kids to the water park, but their stock price has been tanking, so they fired off some emails to their friends in the legacy media to leverage recent tragedies in order to hopefully scare up some new sales. At least I think that's why I saw this pop up on MSN, and that's why a search of recent news articles pulls up so many similarly written articles. Is this really something to be worried about though? On the surface, it's just a less intrusive and way more expensive metal detector. It uses powerful sensors and computer analysis to detect not just metal, but weapon signatures. They claim it can process people way faster. They're tight-lipped about what sensors they are using, but it makes sense they would use a combination of EM field like traditional metal detectors along with millimeter wave and maybe even thermal, then use pattern matching to generate a confidence level for each data set. Or they might discharge the dilithium crystals through the flux capacitor to phase shift the unstable wormhole through the Einstein-Rosen bridge. In any case, the idea is to screen lots more people with less disruption. And I guess I don't have any problem with that on the surface. Property owners have the right to exercise some control over what people bring into their venue. I believe that if they ban me from carrying a gun, then they assume some responsibility to make a good faith effort enforcing that policy on other patrons and to take reasonable precautions to account for my safety. I mean, look at it this way. If an outdoor music festival prohibited you from bringing in water and didn't provide any, I think they might be liable if you suffered a heat injury. And I think these devices might do a better job than a plastic sign does at making sure that other folks at a concert aren't carrying. But like everything these days, this technology involves the collection, analysis, and possible dissemination of very private data. Oh, yeah, and you can buy an optional temperature scanner to check if patrons have a fever. What do you guys think? I'm sure the discussion will be dispassionate and logical. TNVC.com! Night vision devices for people who need gratuitous amounts of seeing in the dark. With all new flavors like sour apple green phosphor, white cherry phosphor, and beer! Seeing! You'll be good at it! Science, night vision, science, night vision. TNVC night vision is made with real dark matter. You'll be so good at seeing, you'll be able to see through time. Rarebreed Triggers has filed a suit against the ATF over the endless bull the AFT has put them through over the last year. Just in case you haven't been following this whole saga, allow me to explain.
Let me explain. No, there is too much.
In July of last year, the AFT met with the owner of Rarebreed and hand-delivered a cease and desist letter claiming the FRT-15 forced reset trigger is a machine gun and advising RBT to stop making and selling the FRT. A week later, Rarebreed told the AFT to pee up a rope, sending the AFT a letter advising they had no intention of complying with the cease and desist letter. Rarebreed insists their trigger is not a machine gun and that they provided ample evidence to support this position, including the testimony of multiple retired AFT agents, including the guy who trained the agent who signed the AFT's examination on the FRT. But the AFT ignored everything and refused to allow Rarebreed even the appearance of due process. The lawsuit goes on to detail how, even though the AFT claims RBT is selling whole-ass machine guns in flagrant disregard for the cease and desist letter, the AFT has not made a single arrest. On March 26, 2022, armed AFT agents conducted a raid on 3rd Gen Machine, the primary manufacturer of the RBT. Quoting from the filing, ATF left over 1,000 assembled FRT-15s, each of them a machine gun, according to the AFT's claim, in cardboard boxes in 3rd Gen Inc.'s unsecured parking lot. The ATF did not want to seize RBT's property under the warrant and thereby give standing to RBT to have a full and fair challenge to the ATF's misclassification of the FRT-15. So more than $650,000 worth of inventory sat in a parking lot for more than 2 weeks until Lawrence DeMonico, RBT's president, went to 3rd Gen Inc.'s offices and picked them up. At that point, More than a dozen ATF agents in unmarked vehicles stopped Mr. DeMonico's vehicle. Mr. DeMonico was ordered out of his vehicle at gunpoint. With no search or seizure warrant nor an arrest warrant, F Troop seized thousands of assembled FRT-15s and thousands of FRT-15 component parts. Even though Mr. DeMonico possessed thousands of illegal machine guns under the ATF's contrived reasoning, Mr. DeMonico was not arrested and was only detained long enough for the ATF agents to seize the FRT-15s in his possession. In fact, one of the ATF agents literally apologized to Mr. DeMonico, acknowledging the FRT-15 is not a machine gun. The AFT's failure to arrest Mr. DeMonico, prosecute RBT's principals, and its failure to initiate a condemnation proceeding for the stolen property as is required in accordance with federal law all point to the fact that the AFT knows its position is unsupportable and is more interested in harassing RBT and its suppliers than it is in taking any legal action that will enable a court to hear all the evidence. RBT's lawsuit seeks an order compelling the AFT to bring a condemnation action relative to the property seized, a declaratory judgment that the altered regulations the AFT made up are void, a declaratory judgment that Congress's definition of machine gun in the 1934 NFA and 1968 GCA is the only enforceable definition that may be applied to the FRT-15, a declaratory judgment that the FRT-15 is not a machine gun, and an order requiring the AFT to return all property of RBT. Of course, this is just another step in the legal dance, and we'll see lots of back and forth and but it's pretty exciting because this may just be the first time we can force these slippery little bastards into a court ruling. The AFT's signature move has been to bully and intimidate businesses, but always stops short of bringing cases to trial in any instance where a ruling could undermine their perception of their own authority. This whole thing has been masterfully played by Rarebreed so far, and I feel like it has a real chance of putting the genie back into its constitutionally defined bottle. What do you guys think? Hey friend, do you like pews and pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free $99? We literally couldn't make this show if it weren't for the generous support of TNVC.com, purveyors of the finest non-GMO night vision devices handcrafted from fine Corinthian leather in the old world style. They also have mounts, lights, training, swag, and all sorts of other free-range gear to make you the bump of the night. And remember, if you aren't subscribed to our channel, you make puppies cry and Captain America's disappointed. I love you.